and I'm not trying to push any beliefs or any religion on you, right?
No, but
We're trying to understand, right?
My friend, I went to a fundamental Sunni Wahhabi school, yeah?
All right.
So I get your point.
I understand,
no, but
yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, no, I can't explain the Big Bang Theory. I can't explain many things. I can't explain necessarily the theory of gravity.
Uh-huh.
You know, quantum mechanics or physics.
But
I'm
yeah,
not a scientist.
so
I'm not
if
a
you say
chemist,
if you say like there is no creator and there is no probability to have a creator, right? So my question will be how we become in existence, how this universe come to an existence.
Why does it matter?
What?
Do you remember before you were born?
What? No.
Do you remember before
No.
you were born?
No.
Why do you care what's going to
Yeah,
happen after when there's a
it's a
creator?
curiosity. It's a curiosity, right? As a human being, we should have the curiosity and we should understand what's the origin of ourselves. So if you think, okay, I'm just living my life and that's everything, so I don't need to ask myself where I came from and what is my actual purpose of the life. So that's a different thing. So we're trying to. That's why you start the conversation, right? That we're trying to understand where we originally came from. So maybe my worldview is different than your worldview, right? So that's why we're different. So, but we're trying to understand it in a common ground. So let's see what it is actually.
It just feels like it's bait, isn't it? Because we can't explain the science behind the Big Bang Theory, for instance. We're not scientists. And you're saying, keep religion out of this. We're not talking about religion. But
yeah, we're not talking about the religion. Yeah, no, I'm saying again.
That is the path that it leads to.
Yeah, I'm saying again, we're not talking about the religion.
Yeah, but you are.
No, I'm not saying.
When you are saying, oh, can you prove why you believe in
No,
this?
No,
that's what you're trying to believe.
No.
You are pocket watching to the extreme right now. You're holding it. Oh, no, can you explain that part?
No. All right.
Excuse my swag.
All right, yeah. So, I didn't mention about the Big Bang. Did I mention first?
No, but you're leading to that path.
Yeah, I didn't mention about the Big Bang.
Doesn't matter
right?
if you do or not.
Understandable.
But you're asking me the question. You know what the answer is going to be. And
for example,
if there's any hole in the way I explained the Big Bang Theory to you, and then you will attack afterwards, say blah 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 blah.
I'll not attack. We can have a rational discussion. Either we can have a rational discussion or we can stop the discussion. We don't need to discuss about this. You can walk away.
It's interesting. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm just not an expert in any.
I don't want to put myself in a position where you're coming down and attack me for what I believe in or what.
No, I'm not attacking. You need to understand the difference between attacking and discussion, right?
What it would lead to, wouldn't it?
No, not really, because I did have a many discussion with many people with about the Trinity and about. Does it mean that I'm going to attack them, or I do have the discussion about the universe and the Big Bang Theory and evolution? It doesn't mean that I'm going to attack them. We can have a discussion. We can have exchange the information. Maybe I can learn from yourself.
Fundamental goal of doing that?
Fundamental goal of as Muslim, right? We give the da'wah. Yeah, we give da'wah.
So you want to convert people?
No,
at the end of the day. You
not
to give them enlightenment.
The converting enlightenment. You can what they use enlightenment. Yeah, you can what they use enlightenment because you can enlighten me as well. For example, if you are a neuroscientist, I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm a medical student of medical science, but not neuroscientist or any other specific field. So you can enlighten me with your.
I can enlighten you on food, my friend. I'm a food consultant. That's my area. I don't know anything else. Okay?
All right.
I couldn't care about anything else.
All right then. Yeah.
Well, I'm really sorry. I think we're just going to keep going back and forth in an endless loop. So there's no point.
Yeah. So as you don't want to have a discussion, that's fine.
But whatever you're trying to achieve, but given dawah at the end of the day is you leading people to convert them. That's the core.
So there's a clear verse in the Quran. That's a very good point you mentioned. There is a clear verse in the Quran. It says to the Prophet, لا إكراه في الدين وتبين الرشد من الغي. We don't push our religion to anyone.
I know. But what are you doing right now?
We don't. Did I push you?
You're leading people.
No, we were in discussion about the origin of the universe, so we didn't speak about anything about my religion. That's okay. My religion is saying this.
You look for this little loophole in between.
Do you believe that on that earth there should be an earthly punishment for Muslims who leave Islam?
What?
For born Muslims who leave Islam, do you think there should be an earthly punishment for them in a society that was run according to Islamic beliefs?
So in a society, every single country has their own rules and regulation. So if you commit anything against the rules of the UK's rules, you will be punished, right? That's very fundamental beliefs, right?
Yes.
So if you commit anything which against any country's rules, you will be punished for a certain, according to their standard.
Right.
So according to the Muslims' belief as well, there is a punishment. According to the Jewish belief, there is a punishment. According to the Christian belief, there is a punishment as well.
What is the punishment for leaving Islam in a true Islamic society?
It depends.
What happened to my fiancé Mo, for instance, for leaving Islam?
Yeah, so it depends, right? first of all, it has to be Islamic country, right? It has to be rules under Islam. So if
Well, he was born in Saudi Arabia and he grew up there. So
I was just there last week.
It's not fully Islamic. So we don't. What do you mean when we say the Islamic, right? Islamic means according to this ruling going on according to the Quran and Sunnah, not any other interpretation of the people.
Hypothetically, a perfectly Islamic society were able to be enforced.
As a good citizen, as a good citizen, should you obey the law of the land?
It depends if that law is just.
How you define the just? How you define the just?
Okay.
Collectively, humans have decided that there are human rights, for instance. But I think you're skirting around the question.
So yeah.
Because you keep saying, oh, but there's not true Islamic society. Every country has different rules.
No. I'm asking you, how you define the just?
In an Islamic country, what should happen to an apostate from Islam?
No. So as my question was, according to your belief, well, it's microphone. Okay. Yeah. According to your belief, so should you obey the law of a land where you are living?
For the most part. For instance, I think we live in the UK. We have this cool thing, obviously, here, Speaker's Corner, where you are free to speak your truth, whether that's you're doing dawah or you're from any religion.
And it's allowed.
In an Islamic country, according to Islamic law, should minorities be afforded
you should answer my question
right?
first. Yeah, you should answer my question. That if you live in a society or in a particular country, should you obey the law of this land to live there?
I have already answered that. I said it depends on whether I believe that law is just.
So
if in the UK,
that's fine. So if you think the just
religion is in a land, by
right.
leaving the religion, you're not leaving any piece of geographical land. So you're not actually.
I'm not mentioning this. So yeah, don't try to put your word on my mouth, right? So why I'm saying if you
I don't comment yet.
all right.
Just asking whether or not he believes that there should be an earthly punishment for born Muslims who leave Islam, because in some interpretations of the religion, apostates from Islam should be executed. And I'm just
Can
curious.
you repeat your question?
No, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right, that's fine. So according to the Christians and Christian belief, Jewish belief, it has the execution is the punishment for the according to the Jewish and the Christian as well. So not only Muslim, right? So it does have.
Okay.
It does
Thank you for
have.
answering my question.
That's fine. Any question? Any more question?
No, I'm satisfied.
That's fine. So
do you believe it's fair?
So it depends which society. If you first of all, if you disobey the society's law, then you shouldn't live there, right? So if you, for example, if someone is age of consent is in the UK is 14, right? So if someone have physical intercourse with like 11 year, 12 year, 10 years.
So the age of consent is 16 in the UK.
Sorry, 16. Sorry, yeah.
I don't know what country you're in.
So have some courtesy, right? So.
Oh, you're saying have courtesy, but you have just admitted that under Islamic law, technically apostates from Islam, as you said, the same in Christianity, Judaism, would be executed.
No.
This means
that's
that my
absolutely
fiancé.
wrong.
This is what he's
Yeah,
just said.
that's absolutely wrong. Yeah,
So, all right.
This is a problem in Muslim people. They think if you leave your religion, you should be executed. That's absolutely wrong.
So what Christians and Jewish think?
In Quran itself, there is no rule in Islam that if you leave your religion, you should be executed. Not at all.
All right.
The verse in Quran is very clear. La ikraha fi din.
Yeah, I know the verse. I know the verse and explanation very well.
So God doesn't need you, doesn't need her, doesn't need me.
God doesn't need anyone. God doesn't need anyone. So that's what you need to understand. That's what you need to understand. If for example, when a Muslim country has the 90% or 98% Muslim living there, does they have the right to make rules by their own?
I believe though that, okay, like hypothetically we're living in the UK, Christian majority, whatever you want to call it. Now if the UK introduced the law saying that any born Christian converted to Islam, which is, your intention ideally, you would be happy to, enlighten members of the public for them to join Islam.
Yeah.
Would you think that would be discriminatory if the UK had a law that said actually any born Christian who converts to Islam should be executed? If I
live in a land, I should obey the law. Otherwise, I should leave. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Yeah. All right.
So you don't think in any country on earth? Okay, let's look at, let's say, Palestine or Israel, for instance. You've got, Arabs living in what's technically considered Israel under international law. should those people, those Palestinians, not be able to fight for their rights because someone has said, actually, there's an Israeli government now, this is the way it is, if you don't like it, leave? Or should people in countries like Palestine, Syria, Iraq actually be able to rise up against dictators or invaders?
It depends what kind of dictators. For example, if the rules has been fixed in this country, in this particular country, and they're just deserving the rules, all the rules, then that's different. And these rules come from the God. So God is the ultimate being, who can describe what punishment or what we don't. First of all, you need to understand this. We don't take the rules by ourselves, right? We don't take any rules or regulation or any prosecution from ourselves. We take it from the God, right? We take it from the God. So we do whatever God says to do. So to be in Islamic country, when we understand that this Islamic country needs to be ruled by Islamic, so most of the people are Islamic, most of the people are Muslim, so they choose, for example, in your secular country, they choose to be secular, right? They choose to be secular. If they don't choose to be secular, it will not be a secular country. So if the Muslims have the right to choose their own beliefs and thoughts, and according to their prosecution code, if the Muslims choose to do this, so does they have right according to the democracy as well? So if the maximum people, majority of the people in this land decide this, then it will be okay, right? So it's their right. If the 95% of Muslims living in a country and they have the power to rule the country, and they make a unique code. For example, the many international law, maybe I don't like or you don't like, but it's a law, right? Because the majority of lawmaker is saying this. So if Muslim people is living in a country where 95% of are Muslim, and they are saying that our law, we all agreed to have a law with the Islamic rules and regulation, what's your issue then?
I think that executing people for leaving a religion that they were born into is a fundamental affront to human rights. That's what I believe, and I believe that for
so
many
how
things.
How you define human rights then?
Well, yeah, this just feels like circular logic, because according to you,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So according to this country, like you said, the less than 16 years old having physical intercourse would be the pedophilia, right? Will be pedophile. And if you go to the Japan, it's not pedophile, it's okay. If you go to the Nigeria, age of consent is 12, so it is very okay. So you need to define this, okay, which standard I should take. The standard should I take from you, or should I take from the God? So that's what you need to define first, right? So there's
So is the standard you prefer then that there should be no age limit on marriage?
No, we don't say this. No, even if anyone is 20, right? If anyone is 20 physically fit but mentally has some issues, we don't say Islam doesn't allow to get married.
But there is no lower age limit to marriage, is there, in Islam? You can marry a girl that's any age, but you cannot consummate the marriage unless she is in puberty.
There is a contractual marriage. There is a different kind of marriage in Islam, right? One is contractual and one is contractual. For example, what is the contractual marriage? Contractual marriage is this, like for example, you have your father, right? And your father decided, and someone gave the proposal to your father, and your father decided to give the marriage to him as well. So they can have a contract, like, okay, so when she
does it not violate her choice if she's married off when she's prepubescent?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's one woman came to the Prophet and said, okay, my father chose this guy for me, and I don't like him. Then Prophet said, yeah, you can dismiss it, right? So she has a choice as well. So it's not only the posing to the women. She does have a choice, and Prophet allowed it. There's a hadith as well.
Yeah, I just do think that sort of like negates the impact that culture and society has. Let's say hypothetically, a girl is 6 years old and married off to a man much older, hasn't yet reached the age of puberty. When she does reach that age, let's say she's, I don't know, 9 or 10 when she gets a period, she's already going to be in that contractual marriage for 3 or 4 years. It's going to be very difficult for her to have, I don't know, the confidence to say, actually, you know what, I don't think this is right.
So,
as
you're first of all, you were saying she's adult, so she should have the confidence if she doesn't like.
I just think that goes against everything we know about how grooming works, for instance.
Not really, because that's what we need to define first. So if we define the UK's law if we define the Nigerian law with the UK's culture, it doesn't go with this, right? So as I said, the Nigeria's age of consent is 12, so their marrying is 13 is very okay. So it's not very okay in the UK. So you need to define first which society and which culture. So you know what? That's what Islam is, the universal religion. Islam doesn't say, okay, you need to marry on 12, you need to marry on 16, you need to marry on 20. Even if you look at the Prophet's wives, most of them were divorced, widow, right? So like this. So what Islam says, Islam in terms of the marriage, as I clearly said, there's contractual marriage as well. But the girl, she can have her own proposal as well.
I think that laws should be there to safeguard and protect, and there cannot be a perfect standard.
So
of
it depends.
age, of course, because people do hit puberty.
Why I'm saying is this, because if I give a standard, for example, if I give if I try to pose my standard, 14 years old standard, to the whole world, so there is a different culture, there is a different maturity. For example, in who are living in desert, they have the different maturity level than who are living in the West or who are living in the Asia. So they have the different puberty and other stuff. I mean, I don't know what's your educational background, but as a medical science student, I can say there's the people for different location, the puberty has changed. For example, someone has puberty in 11 years old. For some location, they have the 12, 13 years old. So there's a difference. So if that's the reason Islam doesn't say, okay, you have to be strict on 18 or 15 or 16. So if I want to say, okay, they are wrong, according to myself, according to UK's law, all the Nigerian people are pedophile because they are marrying in 13 years old, very okay. Their age of consent is 12, because I am watching them with my glass of the world view, so which is different to them, right? So I need to understand the common ground.
But do we understand, though, that there's lots of evidence scientifically that young pregnancy, i.e., if you become pregnant as a young teenager after your first or second period, you have a very much higher likelihood of dying in childbirth, because your body, although you've had your first menstruation, you're not actually physically developed in the other sense. Usually the hips are not wide enough to give birth vaginally, and you can have many other health complications. So I don't think that we can look at a first period as a measure of reaching adulthood.
That's the reason Islam says that if you, as I said, if you only just physically you're okay, but you're not mentally okay, you have some mental issues, Islam doesn't allow you to get married. You have to be mentally and physically fit as well. Both has to be done at the same time.
I don't think, though, for instance, having hips not wide enough is a mental issue. Physically, you are able to get pregnant at your first period, but your body is not going to tolerate it in the most part, and that's why you do get so many young girls who are involved in child marriage or becoming pregnant at a young age, having so many complications and dying in childbirth, and increased rate to adult women.
So, okay, what's the question? I understand your statement. Yeah, I understand your statement.
Yeah,
what's the question?
So I'm saying that's why we potentially have rules in place saying, okay, it's not perfect, but let's choose.
But okay, yeah. We need to understand here. Yeah, we need to understand here. For example, the Islam is not come for this 20th century or just 2023 or 2050, right? Islam comes for till the day of the judgment and from the existing of the world, right? So Islam doesn't give the fix, right? You have to be 18 or you have to be 20. For example, maybe your grandmother, their grandmother was 12, 13 when they gave the birth, right? So that's changed. Time changed and the situation changed. Adapting with the society has been changed. So there's many things. We can't say just, okay, 18. So for example, I'm saying 18. So why about the people who were 100 years ago get married within 10, 12 and having babies in 13 years old, right? So then should I say all of them are pedophile? Should I say all of them are wrong? No, I can't use my standard to them. I can't impose my standard to them. So this is exactly same in today's world as well. So you can't impose your standard, age of standard is 18 to the others who are okay to have a baby in their 16, right? So there's a different cultural difference as well. There's the regional difference, cultural difference, geographical difference. So we need to understand this as well. That's it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, thank you for your time. I think we
No problem. Take care of yourself. And if you have a time, take the Quran. We do have a Quran there. If you have a time, we don't like Rahaviddin, as you said.
No,
so
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
So
the
if you have a time, read the Quran, and inshallah, may Allah guide you. May Allah guide all of us. All right?
Bye.
Thank you. So, alhamdulillah, bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. So this lady came with her boyfriend, I believe. So she has many issues with the Sharia law. She has issues with the marriage. She has issues with the age of consent in the Quran. So we discuss about this. There's Allah doesn't explicitly mention 18 or 16. For example, if I say 18 years old is the age of consent here, or 16 years is the age of consent here in the UK. So why would the people in Nigeria who has the 12 years age of consent? So I can't impose my worldview to them. So the Islam, Alhamdulillah, Islam is the universal religion because of what? Because it goes with all of the culture and all of the society. And she tried to make it like this, the Islam is wrong because Islam doesn't give the standard of 18. So then we go back to the point again. There's what about the babies? What about the women who gave birth in 15 or 1600 years or 200 years ago? So she just stopped there. So and she has some issues with the Sharia law. As we said, even the secular point of view, if the majority of the people chose to rule their country according to their own preference, then it's okay. So Muslim people, they do have Muslim has their own rights to run their own country according to whatever they believe. For example, 95% of the Muslim living in a country, and they chose to rule their country according to the Quran and Sunnah. For secular point of view, they shouldn't have any issues because they are agreeing that the people have their rights to choose. If the majority of the people chose something for their country, yeah, they can do it. So that's the point we're coming from. So we did have some discussion about this. Jazakallah khairan for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Years ago, the London mayor is still an independent. And when we stood as an independent mayor, so let's see, is Jeremy Corbyn going to be standing as an independent candidate in his college business? But all I'm saying now, thank you all very much for watching. We will be back next Sunday, 3 p.m. street live stream. And on the 16th, I'm free, unshackled, to give you my opinions. And at 2 p.m, I'm going to be debating with Omar, that dirty, stinking rat.